What's going on, Rockstars? Welcome to the channel. Thursday, November 21st, 2024. And this is just a little motivational video. Anybody watching this channel who works for themselves, please comment on this video and support what I'm saying. If you don't work for yourself or you only work for yourself part-time and maybe you have a job or full-time job, please pay attention to this video. It's going to change your thinking in your life. I promise you. Young lady on my Facebook page drives to work. She lives in a major city. She works a 9-to-5 job. She goes to work. She leaves at 8 o'clock. She leaves work at 5 and doesn't get home till 6. She's in her car an hour each way. It's normally like 35, 40 minutes, but there's traffic and more people are moving into where she lives. Takes her an hour each way in traffic, 2 hours. And I got to thinking, I'm like, wow, 2 hours a day. That's a lot of time, right? Like it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot of time to be in a car. And she goes 5 days a week. That's 10 hours a week she's in a car, unless my math is really bad. That's a lot of time. And then I was like, man, she does this 4 weeks a month. That's 40 hours a month she's in a car, doing nothing but driving, not being productive. Holy crap, there's 12 months. That's 480, technically 52 weeks. That's 500 plus hours a year that she's in a car. Whoa. Well, that's like a whole, I don't know, 3.5 months of working time. Normal working 40-hour work weeks, that's 3.5 months or more. She just lost a quarter or more of her working hours of work that she could have been working on something else because she has to drive to work. And I don't know what her paycheck is. I don't know what she makes hourly. Let's just say it's $20 an hour. That's like $12,000, $11,000 that she just lost, right? That she could have been doing something else if she didn't have to go to work. Imagine if she worked that job from home and she could put that time into something else that made $20 an hour. A side gig, a side hustle, reselling, YouTube, whatever, right? Doing makeup, I don't know, whatever her side business is. So it got me to thinking, well, holy crap, that's like 16,000 miles a year. If she's driving, I don't know, 30, 40 miles a day or one way, 80 miles a day, round trip, 60 miles, 400 miles a week. Well, I divided that by 25 miles to the gallon in stop and go traffic. And that came out to like $2,200. Okay. Well, there's also maintenance and upkeep of the car and tires, and holy crap, 16,000 miles depreciates a car pretty dang quick. I'll give you an example. I don't drive to work. I stay at home, and my average for the last 3 years in my car is 5,000 miles. And most of that was personal stuff. I drove to like Vero Beach, which is like, I don't know, 200 miles one way for a business meeting. And, I do business with that person through email now, but it was one trip and that day was like 450 miles, right? That's 10% of my whole year in that one trip. So I don't go anywhere except around town. If I put an extra 10,000 miles a year on my car, my depreciated value would be way less. I'd be losing thousands of dollars a year in depreciation. And if you tell your car insurance company that you don't drive to work anymore, 500 miles a week or 300 or 400 or whatever, and you're staying at home and you don't put those miles on the car, they'll drop your car insurance. So you're going to save even more money. That's a fact. I have done quotes for both. So I got to thinking, oh my God, people also pay for childcare when they go to work. Married couple, both go to work, or maybe a single mom or single dad. You're spending all this time in a car. You're paying for childcare. You're paying for gas, depreciating asset, your maintenance, your upkeep, your tires. Holy crap, going to a job actually costs a fortune. Who knew, right? Now, if you don't go to the job, you don't get your $1,000 a week paycheck or whatever it is. I get it. But imagine if you were at home doing it yourself. I'm just saying, if you've never started a business, never thought about starting a business, been intimidated or scared, there's never been a better time to be a business owner to work from home. I have worked from home for going on, 18, 19 years, 20 years since I was 20 years old. So 19 years. And I don't know that I could climb into a car and drive to a job every day. Now, I have had storage units that I've had to drive to. I have had office spaces that I have subleased, rented, whatever, stayed in, and I despised it. When I had the office space, I actually lived like 3 miles away. I don't even think it was that far. My storage units have always been within 3 or 4 miles. I've never had to drive more than say 10 or 15 minutes. Now, there was one exception when I moved into a different house. I did have to drive from that new house to the office, but I was only doing that for about a month or two. And that was about 15 miles. That was a good 30, 40-minute drive because of traffic. But I did that for a whopping maybe 2 months. And I was like, that's enough of that. I'm staying at home. And that was it. That was the end of it because I have that flexibility. But man, looking back at the time and the money outlay to go to a job is staggering. It could be tens of thousands of dollars, right? Because you're losing that gas money, you're losing that maintenance, that oil change, that depreciated value of your vehicle that could be a couple thousand a year. You're losing that 500 hours at $20 an hour that you should be producing as $10,000, $11,000. There is so many negatives. Now, there's obviously positives of having a full-time job that you can't make up for as a business owner. We don't have a 401k that's getting matched, right? Like I have to contribute to my own IRAs or savings or retirement plans, or I don't have that, right? There is no 401k match. Just doesn't exist. I mean, if I started a corporation, I had a bunch of employees, then yeah, they would get it. But I still, as the owner, would not get that. So that's one downside. Now, companies paying your health insurance, that can be a perk, but it's not always a guaranteed perk because I have friends that have insurance plans through their companies that they get taken out of their paycheck, every week. And I did the math on what they're paying and what I pay through a private thing. I just went to an insurance company. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you don't have a job that gives you insurance, you can price shop health insurance just like you do car insurance. You can go to Aetna, Cigna, Humana, Aflac, Blue Cross. You can go to all these companies. United is a good one, and just get, show them your plan from your company, or if you don't have one, get all the plan options and put your debit card in and you have health insurance just like anybody else has health insurance, right? So you could do that. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, companies like those give self-employed people discounts. And my health insurance for me, and I was able to add Kate, get her plan, is cheaper than what my buddies who have corporate plans actually pay. And my coverage on some of them, not all of them, but some of them are better than theirs. So even if you do have a company plan, side note, go price shop some health insurance plans, give them your current plan and let them price shop. Ask your friends. You probably have a friend that does it. I have one here in the neighborhood, and you might be able to save some money. You could just tell your company, stop taking it out of my paycheck, cancel that plan, take me off that plan, and go get your own, right? So you could do that. It's totally viable. But that's another perk that self-employed people get. We can usually get health insurance cheaper. Another perk that we get that a lot of people don't know about is the taxable amount on your money. If you're somebody who makes $60,000 a year, you might be in the 30% tax bracket and they're going to take 18 grand from you. If I make $60,000 a year in profit on my business and I can write off and expense out some of that stuff, instead of me paying $18,000, I might be able to get it down to like 10 or 11 and save 5, 6, 7,000 bucks. It's just a fact. A lot of people don't like to hear this. I don't want to get into politics, but people that run their own businesses have such tax perks. There's tax loopholes and tax laws that are perfectly legal that allow us to drop that taxable income amount down to lower percentages, 10, 12, 15%. And meanwhile, you guys with W-2s are just getting it pulled out of your paycheck because that's what it's set to. And that's just the automatic thing, right? I could make, if you work a job and you make $100,000 and they take 33%, that's $33,000. If I make $100,000, I guarantee I could get it down to 15 or 20 grand legally, 100% legally. I've done it. And my CPA is amazing. And it's all legal, legitimate expenses and deductions because that's the way our tax law works. People don't like it. There's a big argument in this country about the wealthy, the billionaires paying their fair share. I guarantee they pay more money than you, but their percentage is way less. I know people that make $10 million a year, no joke, more than NFL players sometimes, $10 million a year running a business. And you'd go, well, 33%, they should be paying 3.3 million. How much did they pay? And I'm like, well, they paid like 100 grand in taxes last year, 200 grand, like 2%, right? And they're, how is that possible? I'm like, well, they wrote off everything. They did 10 million. They profited 3 million. They paid out 2 million. They spent another $500,000 in expenses. They gave themselves a paycheck, a couple $100,000. They had to write a $100,000 paycheck. But of course, the business is paying all their bills, their cars, everything is in the business name. So they still get to have all that nice stuff. My car is in my business name. I don't take it as a tax write-off because it's ridiculous, but my business pays for my car. And the reason I do that is because it doesn't show as a debt on my personal income. So when I want to go get loans or a house, I have less debt to income. But in theory, I could deduct that car as a taxable deduction. Even though I don't drive it to work, it doesn't mean that I don't take it to sales meetings, to conferences. There's a conference in Orlando at the Orange County Convention Center. I'm going to drive it over there. It's used for work. If I leave here, it's 50% work, 50% personal. I go meet people to look at their inventory, and then I come home and I write them an email, I write them an invoice, I buy it, it ships here. But I drove my car to go look at that inventory. I could. I don't, but I could. I don't want the IRS yelling at me because they're like, oh my God, this car, blah, blah, blah. I have a truck. I certainly could deduct the truck. I could deduct the SUV. I could do any of it. But the only one that my business pays for is the car. And that was just for debt to income issues because I didn't want the debt on my name. I just wanted it in the business name, when I got the car loan for that car. So that's just some insider gold nuggets for you guys. But yeah, legally, it's another deduction. So just something to think about. I wanted to make this video for all of you that don't work at home or don't run a business. If you've never, to wrap this up into a bow, if you've never wanted to run a business, that's fine. But if you do, now is the time. You have phones, you have computers, you have tablets, you can run it from home. I don't care if you want to be a reseller like I do, or a YouTuber like I do, or podcast. Maybe you want to be a makeup artist or a wedding photographer or a plumbing business you want to start or a detailing business. Whatever it is that you want to do, now is the time to start that business. Because do you want a daycare to raise your kids? Do you want to always have to drive in traffic for the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Or would you just like to wake up and come down to the end of the hallway, to your office, to your studio, or to whatever it is you do, and just sit and work and just do what you got to do without sitting in traffic, without wrecking your car, without blowing up your car, without getting in an accident, without paying stupid insurance and gas? Just a thought to think about. As always, I appreciate you guys watching the channel. Big heads up to all the resellers or any small business owners here that need the help of an accountant for the end of the year. My accountant and my life savior CPA, Mark II, his name is Not Your Dad's CPA, but we all know him as Mark around here. Mark II has a CPA licensed business, and he's a reseller also, and he has a website and a program for entrepreneurs, business owners, and resellers in particular. He will help you do your taxes, help you get your numbers together, help you prepare, help you keep your books, help you do everything you need to do. And it is on sale for Black Friday. Please check his link out below in the description. That's Mark II, Not Your Dad's CPA. Go now. That sale is only good through Black Friday, I believe, for a couple of days, actually through this weekend, maybe. Get it now. Don't wait. Go check his website out. Mark is a savior. I promise you. We trust him around here. We love Mark. And he put that out especially for my audience. He's an amazing sponsor and affiliate of this channel. So thank you, Mark. And thank you to everyone for watching the video. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Come back and see me again real soon. And until next time, I'll see you later.